Now that the graduation season is upon us, most of the college students here, especially here at Lehman College, they are in the process of deciding whether to look for a job or go on to graduate school. But what is the application process like, especially at graduate school? We're about to find out from Dr. Robert Bradley, a graduate advisor here at Lehman College. It's a pleasure having you on the program.
And my pleasure as well.
Thank you for coming. Major decision, especially with the economy the way it is. A lot of students are saying, Professor, I don't even want to go in the job market. Can I go on to graduate school? And I'm saying, it's great that you're going to continue your education. Is that what you're telling them?
Yeah, you know, we're finding a lot of people coming back to school now. Our numbers are swelling. And yes, I'm telling them, of course, it's my job to tell them that graduate school is a good thing. And that, you know, that accords with my own experiences. I found my feet as a scholar in graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of an unspectacular undergraduate myself.
Okay.
And
and it was, you found your calling when you got to graduate school?
Indeed I did,
Mm-hmm.
which was the history of music in my own case, but you know, there are many ways to go about it. There are two basic types of graduate degrees that, you know, in my own mind is what I see is liberal arts degrees, which don't lead to a specific, they make you smart, but they don't lead to a specific
Career.
profession or career, except teaching college, teaching at the university level. And then there's what the most popular these days among young people and among young graduates from college is the degree that's going to lead you to a specific career, you know, accounting, Master of Public Health, health education. You know, at Lehman College.
Television production.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
At Lehman College, we educate teachers. Television production. Oh.
You can go work in a TV station.
Yeah.
Of course. But yeah, it's like, it's more hands-on training. So we're
It certainly is. That's certainly the way that graduate education, at least in the Bronx, has moved, you know, in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm. But do you see more students now wanting to go to graduate school than,
We do.
say, 5
Yes.
years ago?
Yes,
And
very much.
does that have to do with the state of the economy?
I would say that's one thing. Another thing is we've widened our offerings here at Lehman. You know, in
What
the
are
past,
those offerings?
And, well, you know, they fall into two general categories as well as our small liberal arts programs.
Okay.
The education of teachers is certainly, that's our biggest customer here. And programs related to health care, social work, Master of Public Health, recreation, health education, nursing, speech-language pathology. Can't forget that.
How often do students graduate, undergraduate, and then go to work, and then come back for a graduate degree a few years later? Does that happen, or is it more likely that they're just going to go straight through?
In this day and age, I think they're more likely to go straight through. That's perfectly anecdotal. I don't have figures where that's concerned. But my observation is people are more inclined to go directly from their undergraduate work into their master's program. That wasn't my
The reason why I
experience.
asked you is because that's what I did. I graduated, and then I went to work. Of course, I studied journalism. I
Yeah.
wanted to be a newspaper reporter. I found the job. I was very lucky after I graduated. So I went to work.
Yeah.
But I always wanted that master's degree.
Yes, I did
And
too.
so 4 years later, although the paper didn't want me to leave, I went to them and I said, you give me a leave of absence, I'm going to go take a year off and get my master's degree. I came to Columbia University in New York, got my master's degree. Never went back to Florida where I was working, but still, they did give me that leave of absence, and I did take the time to go get my master's.
Yeah.
How important is that in terms of, like, for me it was essential because I wanted to teach someday, and I couldn't have done it without my master's.
For me too. You know, my experience is similar to yours. You know, I trained as a musician, and when I finished my undergraduate degree, I went working on the classical guitar as a vocal accompanist for several years.
I see.
And then that, of course, is a very difficult way to make a living. So I became interested in the history of music, and that's what took me back to graduate school ultimately. And I moved into master's and doctoral work.
So when they come to you, your office here, and they, as students, and they say, okay, I'm undecided, I don't know what to do, I'm thinking of going to graduate school, what happens after that? First of all, obviously you have to find out what their interests are, what they want to study.
Exactly right. The first thing I try to tell them is, you know, you're not alone in this. If you're nervous about this and you're,
Absolutely.
you know, You're not alone. Lots of people, and I was too. I tell you, for me to, to apply to graduate school, I think my hand shook as I signed I signed the application form. But you know, you're not alone in this. You know, this is something that most of us at some point in our life will experience.
And then, do you advise them about strictly the programs that we have here at Lehman, or in general, if they want to go to another graduate school that to study something that we don't even offer here? Do you tell them, you refer them to other places?
I try to get a feel for what they want, and if we don't offer what they want, yes, I try to give them what I know. And there's an excellent website. It's called gradschools.com. I should say that, you know, into the microphone here, because it allows the student to search by geographic area and by subject area, and you know, and I think it's really a wonderful source.
So basically, it has the whole itinerary there for if you want to study whatever it is that you want to study. It'll tell you what college specializes in that area.
Exactly right. It's not as complete as it could be because colleges have to subscribe, and of course not all colleges are willing to spend the budget or subscribe to it. But the fact is most do, and it's excellent. It gives excellent coverage of the whole country and several countries actually.
What are the students that you're talking to, what are they interested in nowadays? What are they going for in terms of graduate school? What do they want to study?
You know, last year I would have said business areas and accounting. That seems to have fallen off for the moment. I believe
Again, because of the economy,
it
right?
may well be. It may well be with what is happening in the financial world. Our healthcare related fields are very, very popular.
That's number one now. In terms of interest?
In terms of interest, maybe, not in terms of numbers. Education of teachers is still our largest.
Here at Lehman?
Here at Lehman. A goodly number of our graduate students are active teachers, people who are working in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. So, like the students, for example, that come to you and right now and are undecided, okay, Professor, I don't know if I should go to graduate school or not. I do have this job. Do you get into the personal details with them of, so look, how much is this job going to pay you? Do you really want, do you weigh the things with them in terms of
if
that kind of advice?
If they raise the topic, I do my best. I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a counselor. Yeah, I'm an advisor, and that's a different breed of fish. But mostly I tell them, if you're truly undecided, you shouldn't risk the money. You know, get some experience, find your feet.
How important is it for students to know what it is that they want to do when they grow up? Because I get a lot of students who are totally they're about to graduate and they still
That's
don't know
right.
what they want to do once they graduate. And I think focusing on a career helps if you start early, no?
It is, and the earlier the better. The junior year is about right, even the sophomore year. Senior year is a little late to start thinking about graduate school because there's a lot of preparation work to do. It's important to decide what you want to do and where you want to do it, and go and see those places, visit those places, talk to the people in the field where you want to go.
And it's also the question of money. How are you going to pay for all this?
Exactly.
And financial aid and so forth.
Exactly.
Professor, it's been a real pleasure having you on the program. Thank you very much for being here.
We're done, are we?
Yeah, we're done. This is a quickie. So thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. And we'll be right back next week with another edition of the Bronx Journal. See you then.